What is good, y'all? Sean the Spool Game Man back with yet another reaction video, baby. And today we are back with another anime Naruto video. As today we're gonna go ahead and react to all Byakugan abilities explained. I don't know if it's gonna be ranked. It's definitely gonna be explained. So let me know if you guys want more anime content on the channel. You guys actually been showing pretty much good support for these. Ooh, almost not this building. Showing pretty good support for these and like getting the views in. Just make sure you guys hit that like button too as well to show that love and support so it spreads out to more people too as well. That really helps the channel grow. So thank you guys so much for that. And subscribe if you're brand new to the family and you want to see more anime content. We'll definitely keep bringing more for you guys to see and interact with. And turn that bell on so you guys know when videos are going live. So like I said though, today, all Byakugan abilities explained. Link to the original video will be down below in the description. So you guys check out the full video in its entirety, but we don't really be cutting these anyway, so the full thing's gonna be right here for you. Let's get it.
So we've officially explained every single user and ability of the Sharingan, and we've done the same thing for the Rinnegan, which only really leaves one Dojutsu left, the Byakugan. Nick.
So anyways, let me know if y'all want me to do the Sharingan and Rinnegan too. I only do those ones off request. I won't go look those ones up. Request it down below in the comment section if you want me to do one of those too.
Why'd you save this one for last? Well, because it's kind of convoluted and very complicated. So you better have your watching pants on because this is gonna be a long video. And since it's gonna be a long video, why don't you just get a head start and go ahead and like the video?
Is it me or did that say 13 minutes? Long video.
Oh, and subscribe to the page and hit the noti bell. The day I do this perfectly is the day I quit YouTube. Ah, the Byakugan. The ugly sister of the three major Dojutsu. Why do I say that, you ask? Well, maybe because it doesn't allow you to use space-time ninjutsu, or light flames that last forever, or create giant chakra monsters that dual-wield swords that can cut mountains in half. You know what it does do, though? It shows you the shit out of chakra. Like, you can see chakra so well. What is actually unique and kind of cool about the Byakugan is that unlike the Sharingan and the Rinnegan, the user of a Byakugan is actually born with the Byakugan. It doesn't need a certain set of circumstances in order to awaken. But with no further ado, let's actually get into what the abilities of the Byakugan are, because there actually is a lot more than we give it credence for. At a very base level, the Byakugan gives the user a 360-degree view of the world, with only one blind spot directly above the first thoracic vertebrae. This blind spot is no bigger than a baseball, so all things considered, that's very impressive. And this 360-degree view isn't just a couple of feet. No, Neji states that in the war arc, he can see up to 800 meters away, which means he can track the chakra flows of anything within an 800-meter bubble of him, except for Styx, apparently. And I know what you're saying,
but Nick, the Sharingan, it can track chakra too.
Yeah, but guess what? The Byakugan does it better. So much so that Byakugan users can actually see whether or not other people are under Genjutsu, like Ao does with the fourth Mizukage, Yagura. Ao was actually able to see, using his Byakugan, that Yagura's chakra networks have been disrupted by Obito and is able to break him out of this Genjutsu and therefore kind of end the Blood Mist Village. More than this, the Byakugan allows the user to see all 361 Tenketsu spots, aka chakra points, that the Hyugas have generated a different style of taijutsu in order to target. This taijutsu style is called Gentle Fist, and Gentle Fist is essentially predicated on the ideology of either injecting or taking chakra from these certain chakra points by hitting them. A practiced Gentle Fist user can identify your Tenketsu spots and either inject enough chakra in order to boost your chakra flow, or too much in order to shut down that chakra point and have an entire chakra point, aka a circulatory system and nervous system, shut down on you, making you unable to use arms, legs, hands, or even ninjutsu. But this isn't the only way that they use Gentle Fist. No, actually in Itachi's light novel, The Book of Bright Light, a character by the name of Mukai Kohinata actually uses Gentle Fist to split a fireball in half from Shisui. Essentially, the thought process here is that any ninjutsu is just an amalgamation of chakra. Therefore, being able to see the chakra, you can identify the weak point in that ninjutsu, target it with Gentle Fist, and then split it in half. Drastically change our opinion of the Byakugan in what it could accomplish. This means that essentially a good enough Gentle Fist user could nullify any projectile ninjutsu shot at them. And Neji died to a stick! Because it technically wasn't ninjutsu, it was just wood. No, No, that wood was ninjutsu. It was wood release. On top of all this, the Byakugan can see through walls, smoke screens, anything. It's also been shown in the anime specifically to have a couple other miscellaneous abilities, like being able to see infrared in order to track people using their body heat. And Kaguya's Byakugan was able to peer into people's brains and see their thoughts and their memories. In fact, her power at doing this was so powerful that Hagoromo, even using his own Byakugan, could not repel her from seeing his thoughts and memories. But since we are talking miscellaneous abilities of the Byakugan, we might as well talk about the ninjutsu that come along with the awakening of a Byakugan. And the first one on the list is something that we see in Tsunade's Infinite Tsukiyomi dream when she's reading Jiraiya's book, which is Grid Palm. Essentially, Hiyashi Hyuga, Hinata's father, uses this ability by striking the ground with the palm of his hand. This palm strike creates a spiderweb-esque grid that causes crippling pain to whoever falls within it. But we only ever see this in a filler episode, aka the Infinite Tsukiyomi dreams, so we're moving on. Speaking of anime-only abilities, we next have 8 trigrams Hazan Strike, or also known as Mountain Crusher. This is a kind of vacuum palm-esque attack, which we'll cover in a second, that releases an immense amount of aura up close and personal for a blunt force shot. The amount of damage that this ability does is comparable to being hit by a Rasengan. Every time we see it, Neji is the person who uses it. He launches people back at a monumental force into a group of rocks, usually that shatter. It only works within about 5 meters, but it's intensely powerful. But since we're talking about the Hyuga's ranged attacks, next up, we have Vacuum Palm. Essentially, this ability works by the Byakugan user targeting the vitals of their enemy with their eyes and then creating a vacuum shell within their hand. This vacuum shell is a pocket of air that they then use to push at the vitals of their enemy. Unlike Hazan Strike, it has a better range and is imperceptible since it is just a clear pocket of air. This leads people to getting intense shots to their vitals that feel like they're up close and personal without ever seeing them get thrown. We see this most clearly when Hinata is fighting off the White Zetsu army during the war arc. And since we're talking vacuum palm, we might as well talk about 8 trigrams vacuum wall palm, which requires either 2 Byakugan users using one hand or 1 Byakugan user using both hands to use vacuum palm. It's vacuum palm, but double the power. But enough about the long distance attacks. Let's talk about the Byakugan's short distance abilities. I mean, we're talking gentle fist here. Let's talk about the 8 trigrams blank amount of palms attacks. I say blank amount of palms because there is 8 trigrams, 16 palms, 32 palms, 64 palms, and 128 palms. But here's the thing. They're all the same thing. The way that this technique works is that the user of the Byakugan enters a stance that creates a bunch of circles around him, and these circles have a lot of meaning. If you look closely, you'll see that these 4 circles that encapsulate a yin and yang symbol in the center represent each of the different amounts of palms. The first circle represents 16 palms, the one after that, 32, the one after that, 64, and the one after that, you do the math. 128. From here, the amount of palms that you access essentially just means how many hits you land during this spree. If you land 16 shots, that's 16 palms, 32 palms, 64 palms, 128 palms. It's easy as that. Problem is, as you go up in palms, that means you have to move so much faster. It also means you have to hit more tenketsu spots because hitting the same one twice isn't nearly as effective than hitting 128 separate ones. However, Neji showed us in his fight against, I forgot his name, I had to look it up, Kidomaru in Naruto OG, that you didn't have to actually be focusing on tenketsu spots in order to use these 128 palms. You could simply use it to target 128 separate targets, which means it would work on sticks. And since we're talking about things that would have stopped sticks, next up...
Bro, leave the sticks alone. Rest in power to my new Neji, but we all get it. We all know it was plot. Nah, I really wish Neji could have stayed alive though for that stick got him.
We have 8 trigrams palm revolving heaven. This is a very interesting taijutsu, yes, taijutsu ability that's usually only ever known by the head of the Hyuga clan and their direct heir. But Neji learned it simply by watching the head of the Hyuga clan, Hayashi Hyuga, use it. And the way that the techniques works is actually very fascinating. The Hyuga member emits chakra from each and every single one of their 361 Tenketsu spots. They then rotate at a high speed in order to propel anything that's approaching them away with this chakra. This is done in order to cover up for the Byakugan's blind spot because it covers that blind spot. In fact, it's so effective, Tenten says that it's more effective as an absolute defense than Gaara's sand shield. But since when did we start taking what Tenten said at face value? How fast do you think they're spinning? 750 miles an hour. What? You know how hard that could have rejected some sticks? Comment below how many times I say stick this video. But since we're talking about Neji and his abilities, why don't we talk about the Tenketsu Needle? The Tenketsu Needle is a 2-finger strike that can target a specific Tenketsu point and pull a chain out of their body. By pulling this chain, you completely halt the flow of the chakra of the person whose chain you're pulling out. We see this in episode 412 of Naruto Shippuden, where Neji attempts to stop a Jinchuriki's tail beast being pulled out of them by hitting somebody with a Tenketsu Needle. This is an anime-only ability, and it's kind of confusing why it didn't get used more, because it completely halts the chakra flow of whoever you hit it with. And that's like the whole point of Gentle Fist. Like, that's to stop the chakra flow, and you can do it with one hit. But since we're talking about ending fights in one hit, why don't we talk about Gentle Step Twin Lion Fist? Which, fun fact, was created by Hinata and makes her the second youngest person to ever create a jutsu. The first one being Minato. These Twin Lion Fists increase the range of Gentle Fist while also increasing the power and their ability to hit Tenketsu marks. If Hinata hits somebody with one of these fists, it literally drains the chakra from them while also shutting down their Tenketsu marks. This is undoubtedly one of the strongest taijutsu abilities in the entirety of Naruto, and Hinata, who's right here, doesn't get enough credit for it. But speaking of terrifying abilities, next up is Rabbit Hair Needle, a jutsu specific to Kaguya. Essentially, Kaguya kind of takes a page out of Jiraiya's book, or I guess you could say Jiraiya took a page out of her book, and hardens her hair and shoots it out like needles. Needles so powerful, it can penetrate Sasuke's Susanoo. She uses her Byakugan in order to target vital points, or Tenketsu points, with these needles in order to kill people, I guess, more effectively. And if you're hit with these needles, it seals your movement. But since we're talking about needles, we should get to our last Byakugan ability, and that would be Water Needle, another technique specific to Hinata. This anime-only technique allows Hinata to concentrate, and by using her Gentle Fist, concentrate water vortexes around her into the shape of needles. She can then shoot these needles with incredibly high accuracy so high she can knock bees out of the air at whoever she pleases. It's actually called the Water Senbone ability, and it kind of acts like a senbone. You know, the things Haku threw into Sasuke and almost killed him. This was a really cool ability, and we only ever saw it once. It was a great moment of development for Hinata, and I'm sad it never got more fleshed out. And that's all the ability of the Byakugan. But here's the thing. That's not all there is to the Byakugan. No, because the Byakugan can be evolved. In Naruto the Last, the only ever Naruto canon movie, Toneri Otsutsuki reveals to us that if an Otsutsuki takes a Hyuga's Byakugan and transplants it into themselves, they awaken a Tenseigan. And while all we know about Tenseigans is very, very little and almost entirely limited to Naruto the Last, what we do know is it gives Toneri access to a couple of abilities he didn't have otherwise, such as a Tenseigan Chakra mode that looks a bit like a Sage mode, and Truth Seeker Orbs, a Kekemora that's usually specific to only relatives of Kaguya. And now that is really all we know about Byakugans. I hope I managed to make the least interesting of the 3 major dojutsu at least a little interesting for you, and if I did, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the page.
That makes me wonder though, so then where does the Jogan fall under? Is the Jogan not under the Byakugan too as well? I guess that's up for debate if it's in the other one of the other 2 videos or not. But yeah, we definitely didn't say anything about the Jogan, so I was Tenseigan, Byakugan, and then I thought the Jogan was a form of it, probably like in the middle of the 2, especially since Boruto was able to awaken it and be related to a Hyuga, so I would assume it's somewhere around the Byakugan, but you know, maybe I'm not. Maybe if you guys know down below, or if you guys know, let me know down below, and we'll figure that out. Naruto, you know, that's your son. You still don't know. All right, well, that'll be all for today's video, man. A shorter one compared to some of the other ones, but we have a couple others on the schedule. Let me know what other anime videos you want your boy to go and check out. We definitely will. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video, man. Leave a like, subscribe, and turn that bell on so you guys can know when new videos are going live for your boy. And I will catch you guys in the next video, man. It's been your boy SDG, aka the King of Games. Wait. That's the wrong channel. Y'all gotta go to the gaming channel to hear what that outro sound like. So make sure you guys go head over to Smooth Got Game for all your gaming needs, man. It's me, boy, Johnson Smooth, aka Black Byakugan, Black Avatar, and King Leo. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bars. I'm going for the day. Peace.